Today we're going to find the budgeting app that's right for you. This isn't set it and forget it, right? So we want the one that's easy to manage going forward. Now I know there's so many apps out there, so we need to find a more manageable list. And we're going to do that by narrowing it down to only include apps that have 5,000 reviews and 4.5 stars and above. We're going to start off at the lowest tiered ones, and even though these are the lowest ranked ones, they're all still quality apps that provide the basic functions I find are necessary for every budgeting app. The first one is charts and graphs, so you can more easily understand your financial situation. The second one is they have recurring transaction monitoring. And the third one is, if you have any kind of issues, can you reach out to customer service? The first one up is Fleur, and this one's known as the cute, non-intimidating budgeting app. It allows you to customize your categories and even has iCloud sync. Its main issue is you have to manually enter everything, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be an app that's going to ever grow more complex. So it's really just for beginners or people who want to manually enter simple transactions. The next one is Money Manager. This one is very detailed. They have an asset and expense ledger and more of a bookkeeping style system. It is more complex than Fleur, but this complexity brings with it a more bigger learning curve for you. And the other issue I found is it's very big with ads. They get a little intrusive. The next one up is Cashew, and this one has what's called multi-accounts. So basically buckets for different things like your savings, emergency fund, or free spending. It's highly customizable, it handles multiple currencies, and it's even open source. Its major issues are it's still limited on its advanced features, even though it looks pretty professional, and it's got reliability issues. I did really like this one though, and I think it did punch above its weight class. The next one up is Spending Tracker. This one's very similar to the other apps where it's light and very basic. It does allow you to sync your data across devices, but only with its paid version. However, I feel the UI is very basic and outdated. Our fifth one is Monefy. This one's very fast, where it has one tap entry for income and expenses. It's got the multi-accounts just like Cashew, and it introduces two new features that nothing has had so far. It allows you to have widgets on your home screen, and it allows you to collaborate with others and share your budget. I didn't have this problem, but others online have said it crashes often. All the apps so far have used what's called the category method. This just means everything's put into a certain group, like your groceries, sports, free spending, etc. Another kind of budgeting app is the zero-based budget. This just means all of your income minus your expenses, and that includes your debts and savings, will equal zero. So think of it this way, where every dollar has a purpose, there's never any money left over. If you've heard of the envelope method, that's a version of that. And the last budgeting style is the 50-30-20 rule. That just means 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30 to your wants, and 20 goes to your savings. With that, let's move on to the C level. All the apps in this tier have the same exact features as the ones previously mentioned, but they also have some additional features as well. The first one up is Budget App. It has a very generic name, and it's hard to find in the App Store because of that. But this one has the new feature that the other tier does not have, and that's the ability to set goals and track your progress. It also allows you to share and collaborate with others, but some problems you'll run into is it has a lot of ads, and some people say it crashes on them a lot. Goodbudget is the second app in this tier, and it also lets you share and collaborate with others. It also introduces two new features. It'll sync with your bank and your credit cards. It does this to bring in all your information automatically, and you don't have to manually enter anything. That's really nice. Its hiccups are it uses the envelope style of budgeting, and that's just very restrictive to a lot of people, especially with things being digital. In the old days, people used cash and they just put it actually in an envelope, and it just is very hard to do in the digital world. Since I mentioned this syncs with your bank and credit cards, you're probably wondering, is this safe and private? Answer is yes. Goodbudget does use bank level security and encryption to protect all of your data, so you can safely rely on it. We're on to our B tier, and almost all the apps in this one have every feature previously mentioned. They all sync with your bank account, as well as have the goal setting feature. All but one will sync with your credit card, and one of them, a different one, doesn't allow you to share and collaborate. I'll tell you which ones those are as I go through them. The first one up is Buddy Budget, and this one's designed to be shared with a partner, family, or a buddy. It's very lightweight. It allows you to customize categories. It has multi-accounts, and it's introducing a new feature. It allows you to track your net worth. What's not liked about it though is it has syncing issues. it's got app crashes a lot, and it's got poor customer support. The next one is Everydollar, and this one is clean and simple. This one does not sync with your credit card. It's the only one in this tier that does not, and that's not going to change. It's made by Dave Ramsey, and he's very anti-credit cards. It does track your net worth, however, and it's introducing a new feature of splitting transactions. I found it's just a little too basic and very restrictive for me, and it did have some syncing issues, but it's really good for Dave Ramsey fans. When you're ready to move on to the next step in your relationship, there's Honeydue. This one's made for couples. It also split transactions, and it's the first app we have that now syncs with your investment. However, it's the only app in this tier that doesn't track your net worth. It's 100% free, and there's no paid plan, so you don't have to worry about them trying to upsell you. They make their money through donations, but I think that's the reason why it's a little more complicated and tougher to use. And I'm not really sure how long they'll be around, because is that really a sustainable business model? We'll find out. Now, I know I gave you a bunch of information, and I want to take a moment and a breather to let you know I have links in the description for all of these apps. There's no cost for you to use these links, but you do get extra days for your free trial and discounts if they're running a promo at that time. And as a thank you from the app's developer, I get a small commission to help support this channel. So let's talk about Spendee. And this is the first one to introduce syncing with your crypto wallets. And it's mostly just Coinbase, but hopefully they'll introduce more going forward. And this one also has these multi-accounts like savings, emergency fund, loans, kind of like buckets, but they call them wallets. I would say it's an easy to use app that's kind of intuitive, but it doesn't sync with your investments like Honeydue. So those are the only two apps in this whole tier that don't do that. But I would say its main issue is it doesn't sync always properly, and it miscategorizes your transactions. Next up is Nerdwallet, and this is by far the most popular budgeting app in the App Store. It has 150,000 more reviews than the second popular one. And it's fully featured, so it has almost all the bells and whistles you could think of, but it doesn't allow you to share and collaborate. And it's the only app in this tier that doesn't allow that. But they make up for it because it's the only other app besides Honeydue that allows you to sync your investments. However, it seems like investments are becoming more and more popular with the app because it actually does allow you to make an investment in your investment funds. And it's the only app that does that. Everything else is just reading your investments and your credit cards and your bank statements. This one's actually writing to those accounts. Lastly, you need a budget. And no, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. That's the name of the app. It's shortened as YNAB. And this is not only the last one, it's also the most divisive. And that's because it's very detailed with a lot of complex analytical budgeting and financial planning tools within the app. However, that does come with a bigger learning curve and a longer setup time. It does have every feature mentioned, but it doesn't sync with your investments or your crypto wallets. Good news is though, you can add those to your account and track them manually. We're into the A tier now, and A used to be the top of the class, but things have changed, so we still have the super tier after this. And with this one, I'm going to just tell you up front, there's only two apps in this one. So I'm going to compare them collectively against every other app before them, as well as a head-to-head comparison of the two. So collectively, they both have all the features of every other app, except they don't sync to your investment funds and your crypto accounts. So let's talk about Rocket Money. This one's a little different, just like Nerdwallet was different, where it doesn't really focus on the budget so much. It's actually there to help you negotiate your bills. It'll actually do that. It'll actually help you find subscriptions you no longer need, and it'll help you cancel them as well. But regarding budgeting features, it does have some great spending analysis. But what's not liked about it is its syncing often breaks. Now let's talk about PocketGuard. And PocketGuard's main priority is to make sure you understand and can clearly see how much money you have at the end of the day to spend freely on whatever you want. That's their main goal, and that's why they're called PocketGuard. They're guarding your pocket. Its issues are it has delays in the sync, as well as bugs with the app, and sometimes it has missing categories you might want. All in all, I would say these two apps are actually very good. They're high quality, and that's why they deserve to be in the A tier. We've made it to the top tier, and these apps deserve to be there because of the cream of the crop. They have all the bells and whistles, like syncing with your bank account, credit card, investment, crypto wallets. They allow you to have goal settings. They allow you to track your net worth. They allow you to split your transactions, as well as share and collaborate your budget with somebody else. They also have additional features like monitoring your cash flow, credit score tracking, as well as alerts and notifications. Collectively, they're very powerful. They have more detailed reports, forecasting, and analysis. The first one is Simplifi, and just like its name, it's simple and easy to use. It's straightforward, and I would say out of all the apps in this tier, it's probably got the lowest maintenance. It's very good because your recurring bills and income are reliably detected, giving you a great picture of how much cash you have on hand. The downside is it's less focused on your long-term planning. It's more focused on your short-term day-to-day planning, and that means it's not really a holistic financial picture of your financial health. Okay, so that brings us up to the next one, Copilot Money. And Copilot is designed like it was designed by Apple itself. It's very intuitive, the colors are poppy, the layout's just very nice, and it flows. People really like it for that reason. What I don't like about it is its reporting features aren't that robust. They could be expanded more. They're very limited. And its biggest problem is it's only for Apple devices, although it is the up-and-coming fan favorite that's nipping on our #1 pick that's coming up now. So if you haven't guessed it by now, the fan favorite is Monarch Money. This doesn't mean it's the #1 pick for you, but it just means in general right now, everybody's really liking this app and talking about it. Its UI is customizable, which everybody loves, but it's not as polished and intuitive as Copilot, unfortunately. And an advantage over Simplifi is it actually does have like a holistic approach to your financial health. Though that comes with some caveats. It takes longer to set up and it's a little bit more complicated as well. But as I mentioned, it is the fan favorite and everybody's talking about it. So it is something to take a look at. So those are all the apps and their rankings. And if you're like everybody else, you really want to know between the two, which one's better, Copilot or Monarch, I have a video here that runs through a more in-depth analysis between the two. And as a reminder, I have links to all these apps down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything to use these links. You actually do get 50% off your first year for some of them and extra days for your free trial. I just get a small commission from the app developers as a thank you for referring somebody to them. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.